This is Devin Phillips with Trades Talk, and we have Keepers Mobile Detailing, Isaiah, here today. We're going to interview him and just kind of see where he comes from. So
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me, man. Yeah. My name's Isaiah Avendano. I own Keepers Mobile Detailing. I also own Dove Media Group and a Christmas light install business in the winter. So a little bit of a serial entrepreneur, you could say. Yeah.
Now in the wintertime, you don't really do much mobile detailing because, I mean, I bet it's cold out there and nobody's really caring about their cars getting all cleaned up or anything, right?
Yeah. So it's difficult. I mean, you come around December, January time, the wash mitts get cold, stuff starts freezing, chemicals start freezing. So we like to get people's cars ceramic coated. November, it picks up pretty crazy. But after that, that's why it's good to have something else.
And that ceramic coating, that lasts probably, what, a year, 2?
Yeah. So you can do anything from, a year. You can go all the way up to 7, 9. I've seen 12-year coatings, but we specialize in just doing a year. Okay. So it makes more sense that way for our clients.
So then to transition into the more colder temperatures and stuff like that, you ended up doing Christmas light install as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been installing Christmas lights for about 4 years. It was something I just kind of picked up. I did a little bit of gutter work in the past before I owned all these businesses.
That sucks. The gutters.
Yeah, dude, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. And this I was like, man, I just can't do this anymore. So I had to get out of it.
It's always like the really long runs. Have you ever seen where it like kind of waves a little bit?
Yes.
I have an issue on mine just a little bit because that run is 70 feet. And when you're trying to balance that out, it doesn't work too well.
It's crazy. And people forget how heavy aluminum is. I mean, you start getting 50 feet and above. Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
That water that hits it just right. If you don't have all of your pins set and all of those in place, evenly spaced, it'll buckle that gutter right over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that stuff bends so easy. Yep. So you got to hang it when it's not windy out. You got to do it right, too.
So tell me and tell our audience here, what got you into doing what you do? Give us your story, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm young. I'm 23. So I haven't had, super long experience in life yet. But before I started the business,
you're ahead of a lot of people nowadays. I mean,
right. I mean, that's 35 the dream, right?
And not even know what they're planning to do in life. Well, I'm just kind of figuring it out.
Right.
Halfway through, bro.
Right. Yeah, no, I know plenty of people like that. But, I got my start. It was one of my first jobs ever, actually, was detailing cars. I was detailing cars for a dealership in Wichita that my grandma was the service manager at. So she said, hey, you want to come make some money? You're 13. I figured make a couple $100. Yeah. Probably in the whole month is what I made. $200. It wasn't much, but
I worked in that shop. Man.
Right. Take advantage of it. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. At the time, I didn't love it. I kind of hated it. But as I've gone on and worked multiple jobs in between that, I found myself the beginning of this year when I started Keepers. It's like, man, I need something that I'm passionate about. What am I passionate about? It was cars. Cars have been something I've always loved. I love building them. I love looking at them. I love racing them. Anything with them.
So what, out of the time that you've been open and operating, what's one of the most memorable details that you've done? So have you had like a really cool car, Corvette, or one that really stands out where you're like, yeah, this one right here?
Yeah. I mean, one that really stands out. I love doing Mercedes. Mercedes cars are just super easy to detail and they always look great. I like putting the little carpet lines in them. You've seen those probably all over TikTok. Yeah. I love doing that. So I did an AMG not long ago.
Okay.
Like a brand new one. And it was really, really nice for a pretty popular person out here in Wichita.
Just being that it's brand new, it's like, you got to really detail too much.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, you get those cars and people will book them in and it's almost harder to detail the clean cars because you're looking like, what do they want me to detail in this? So you end up touching everything, just figuring it out.
My truck's dirty, so it's going to be easy.
Right. Those dirty ones, because they flip around, they look great at the end. So
it's such a transformation. And those are really good for views, especially on TikTok and Instagram, because you're showing that transformation of before and after. And I've seen some of the stuff that you've already done so far, and it's amazing on what you've done.
Yeah.
So you got started pretty much at 13. That's what got your passion going and everything. As far as, Christmas lights and the videography and stuff like that, what what got you into that? Being that you're young, not a lot of people are like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this,
Right.
and just actually do it. They're they'll bounce around
Yeah.
and do all of that. What put you into that as well?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, with the marketing, yeah, I've been married for a couple years now, but I've been with my wife for about 5 years. Her parents own the marketing agency that we're now owners of, and videography is something that they haven't always touched into. And I've always loved photography and just seeing things from a somebody else's perspective.
Right.
So being able to pair videography with something I'm already passionate about, which is business, got me really into that area. And I'm growing every day in that industry. It's always something new.
As far as the videography side, has there been any memorable ones like that? Roofing, what business kind of stood out that you were really proud of that finished product?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'd take one recently. The print shop, Primus
Yeah,
Print.
yeah,
That
yeah.
video just
Steven.
came out super, super cool. It's always fun working with businesses that are super visual. Not every business can take
Yeah,
good videos. Like mortgage and sometimes even real estate can get a little boring and dry. So seeing something
it's
different is
kind
always
of all
fun.
cliche,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's well, I'm here to sell a house, like
Right,
that's what I
right,
do.
right,
Every house is different, and you can only do really so much with each one of them.
right.
So I have seen some of the different mm, videos. I like the ones where the drone will like come and fly in.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one where a dude like had it fly and he was there and they had the shot from behind to show what he was doing,
Right.
but he grabbed the drone mid-flight and then starts walking through the house. And I
That's
was
awesome.
like, that's dope.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's definitely different. It's
Mm-hmm.
not your, you know, picture, drone shot and call it good.
Right.
Because marketing is everything.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
way
It's
you
huge.
market it, the way you produce it, what you're doing. So,
Yeah, yeah, and that's pairing videography with marketing is so big
oh
because
yeah,
a lot of business owners just aren't aware like what is marketing, and marketing has changed within the past 5 plus years, as of recently, especially with the change in social media. So everything's
AI
visual.
too. I
Yeah, AI
mean,
as well. Yeah,
you who knows what's going to happen with all of that?
yeah,
The I mean, hell, the script that I got for, doing this, AI really kind of helped me put that together and
right,
visualize what it is that I want to talk about, how I want to present some of that. It was able to formulate that. So
right.
I can see the definite advantages of it,
Oh
but I
yeah,
can also see the decline that we would end up facing because of,
yeah,
us being even more lazy and, turning to that.
yeah.
As far as your goals for, let's say, the next 10 years, what's your idea and your prospect of, you know, your businesses? How's that going to turn out? What are you looking for?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, first and foremost, the detailing business is my main focus. That's has been my bread and butter has been the detailing
Mm,
stuff. So, I mean, ideally, in within 10 years, I'd like to be passive, step away from it a little bit. I do want to be the biggest detailer within the Midwest area. So I'd like to have some vans going, stay mobile, maybe a few shops here and there, kind of running, doing their thing, ceramic coatings, etc. So that would be ideal within those next 10 years. And there's no reason it can't happen.
Mobile
So
detailing is ideal because, I mean, with me, I'm scheduled to do one, but I've had to reschedule multiple times due to the
right.
busy schedule.
Right.
So having the ability to come there, knock that out for them while they're working,
Yeah.
that's huge. It's
Yeah.
definitely a step above the game because anytime I ever thought, let's say a year ago, uh, I was always thinking that, like I got to take it to go get it detailed.
Right.
Now I have time to run through a 10-minute car wash,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just wash the outside and I'm on my way.
Yeah.
But to be, in one place for a period of time to let you do your thing, outside of being at home at night, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's not like you want to detail at nighttime.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
it
And
makes it
that was the
difficult.
big thing, like convenience is huge,
Yeah.
especially like in today's world, instant gratification is everything. So I saw a real big gap in the market. And it's like, well, I could start a shop, I could be successful in a shop,
Right.
but I want to reach the average person. The average person isn't getting a detail more than maybe once a year, sometimes not even that.
Yeah,
So
not even
being
that.
able to come to them and bring the whole professional shop experience to their location, it's huge. I get so much positive feedback from that.
Now with ceramic, you want to do that in a shop,
Ideally,
okay,
yeah.
but
Ideally,
you
you can
can
do it
do it
in a shop. You can
outside.
do it outside.
Okay,
It just has to be done correctly. It has to be done quickly. And that's just something that comes with expertise. I'm 8 years in the business, and ceramics still something that I'm learning something new about every single
there's new
day,
products coming out all the time.
all
I
the
mean,
time.
I saw some stuff online that was just like a spray for the motorcycle,
Yeah.
and it's done okay, but it was supposed to repel bugs, and I have to clean them off every time I
Right,
ride.
right,
So
right. There's so much like that in the
yeah,
industry. It's just knowing the right stuff and knowing the right people. I've got a really good mentor that's got a hugely successful shop here in Wichita, that's been able to point me in the right direction. So
that's
I'm
good.
super lucky, super blessed with that.
Now, what is an ideal client as far as because you're wide open? I mean, everybody
Yeah,
drives, of course, anybody with a car or truck or
yeah,
something like that. What about like fleet vehicles? Whenever have, say, a plumbing company or a truck maintenance company or something like that, is that a client that you service as well?
yeah. So I love doing businesses. I love doing fleet vehicles. I've got a few fleets that I already take care of. It's a super big thing. It kind of ties into the marketing. Is those vehicles are your brand, so you
Yeah,
want them to look good. That's the way that I sell it to them all the time. But I mean, as far as ideal client, just looking for somebody who cares about their investment. A lot of times,
yeah.
a vehicle is your second biggest investment outside of a house.
Oh yeah,
So, if you have it detailed a few times a year, at least once a year, and you sell it in 5 years, you're saving so much value, and you're barely, paying for it as opposed to losing a ton of value.
and
So,
it's a cleaner image.
yeah,
Because I agree with you. I mean, you've seen plumbing companies, you see those companies that roll around. It's just like, you look at their vehicle and you kind of makes you wonder how's their work as well. Is it
yeah,
quality? How are
right,
you going to say quality is key or whatever on the side whenever everything's flaking off and you got, it's covered in mud
right,
and
right.
trash and energy drinks in the
Yes,
in the window?
yeah.
I just don't get
Yeah, I don't either, and
that.
it's like, man, is that a company I really wanna
Yeah, I don't
have
know
come to
about
my
that.
house? And
I don't know.
yeah, it's just crazy seeing that, but yeah, no, we love to take care of fleet vehicles.
Awesome. So, married, kids,
Yeah, 2 kids. I've got
awesome.
a 3-year-old little boy and then a 10-month-old little boy.
Man, family's definitely everything. I have a 4-year-old and he
Yeah.
is just the light of my life, that is for sure.
Right,
Uh
right.
Faithful,
Yes, yeah,
go to
very
church.
raised in the church. Yeah, still go to church.
So, how has that played into what it is that you've done, especially your generation? It's just
Mhm.
not common that you run across, you know, I call them kids because I'm
Right.
almost 40. How do you use that on a day-to-day basis? What's that look like to you, and has that shaped your vision?
Yeah, I mean, God is everything to me, and then it's God, family, and then everything else is under that. So, I mean, I was lucky enough to be raised by a super, super good man. My dad's, my role model. He's taught me and raised me upon faith and just upon being able to do anything through Christ. So I live every single day putting that first, and it makes me a better man, better business owner, better husband, better
Yep,
father because of it.
I definitely believe
So,
that.
and I think a lot of kids my age just they forget that. So,
Well, they might have not been raised with it or even
right.
know it, so or
Yeah.
it's not been introduced to them as something that needs to be a part of their life.
Yeah.
So, not to
100%.
push anything here, onto anybody, but we're definitely believers of Jesus Christ, and
Yeah.
so as far as your age as well, have you seen generational people that have kind of you know been appreciative of what you've done and inspired you? Has there been anybody that's been an inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, as far as my age, it's hard to find somebody my
Yeah.
age that inspires me. Like I said, my dad is my inspiration. He's a business owner himself, works super hard, but I think it all just comes back to him as opposed to somebody my age. you don't see it
Yeah.
nowadays. And the people that see me doing it that are my age are like, how are you doing that? Like, what's driving you to do that? Or they just think I'm lucky. Oh, he's just lucky.
Yeah. So that's what I've heard a lot. It must be nice.
Yeah.
Working your ass off for, 70 hours is nice. Well, I work
Right.
a full-time job. I remember my first part-time, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It is difficult, but at the same time, I understand it because there's a mindset that goes along with it. A lot of people don't
Hmm.
understand that being independent and working for yourself is the way. You can work for somebody, but you're working to build their dream and not your own.
Right.
So, how would you, as 23, have three different businesses? What would you give as advice and guidance to uh, your generation to get started? What would be something that you could say to them?
Yeah, I think risk and patience is huge. A lot of people my age are scared of risk, and patience just isn't a thing of the generation.
Right.
So you just got to do. If you have an idea, it can be profitable. You can make money from it.
Oh yeah.
You can live a life on that one crazy idea that you just had, sitting talking to your buddy randomly after 40-hour work week. It just came up,
Yep.
and that's how it was for me. I had the idea and I just put it into action. Just being patient at the same time. So you got to take a calculated but
Calculated
patient
risk.
risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the one piece of advice that I always tell people is just do it. Just go for it. There's nothing that you can't achieve.
So you started off and made that calculated risk,
Yeah.
and it's paid off
Right.
clearly. Um, what is up to now as far as where you're at? What would be the next step to make another calculated risk to continue and keep going forward?
Yeah. Yeah. I think just having the right connections, just knowing the right people. I'm always listening to ideas. So if somebody throws an idea at me and it makes sense, I might talk to my wife about it because she's the boss. But I like to hear those, and I'll usually jump into something if it feels right. I get an intuition about things.
Right. Well, so Tyler talked to you about BNI,
Yeah.
and he's the one that brought you into that.
Right.
How did all that get started? I
Yeah.
kind of remember a little bit of the story of it, but run me through that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I was doing my first show with Keepers Mobile Detailing. It was it was at Allstate. It
Okay.
was like a
Yeah.
little 55 plus retirement home show. And they needed a mobile business.
Tyler's bread and butter, man.
Right, right.
Right.
And insurance for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I had a little booth there. It was somewhat professional. I won't say it was the best. It was last minute. But I ended up getting put next to him.
Mm.
And we just kind of got to talking because I mean, you've got these older folks just kind of walking around and they're
Yeah.
kind of walking past us.
You're looking
They're
for
just
those
there for the
Mercedes,
freebies,
man.
man.
Looking for the Mercedes.
Right, right. And he got to talking. He goes, "How do you network?" Well, I just talk to people.
Right.
I like talking to people. He goes, "Well,
That's the biggest thing in networking is
yeah,
being
yeah,
able to talk to them and just open that conversation.
right, yeah." And so he goes, "Well, you ever heard of BNI?" Like, BNI? What's BNI? No, I haven't. This is my first year in business officially, so no. What's BNI? He kind of told me a little bit about it, and he gave me his number, so we kind of texted here and there afterwards. Kept trying to get me to come to meetings. It was like 4 weeks had gone by, and he just kept trying to get me to
Yeah.
come to that Tuesday meeting. Yeah, here's Isaiah's coming. Isaiah's gonna come.
Oh, I remember. Like I got a mobile detailer coming. I
Yeah,
promise
yeah.
you.
And I just never came. It's time is so valuable to
Yeah.
me, but I think once I took that first step of actually going, I realized that that's a more valuable use of my time than maybe just doing a car because I can get way more out of that
Yeah, you have a
hour and a
marketing
half.
team behind you.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
People to support me. It's like a second family for me. So I love it.
So, since being a part of the group, what's been the greatest takeaway outside of course, referrals or business or anything of that
Right.
nature? What's been the biggest moment for you in that time?
Yeah, yeah. Inspiration is huge. You get to see, there's young business owners in there and then there's older business owners in there. So just being inspired by their stories and what they do and what they've gone through. Yeah, everybody in that group is successful in their own way.
Yep.
So I'm inspired by everybody in there every day.
That's what I noticed in that group. There was a lot of young blood,
Mhm.
and the inspiration of that alone. I've been in a group for quite some time, and it has done absolutely wonderful for me,
Right.
especially in business, but friendships as well. I take away some great key relationships. You and I hit it off pretty well
Yeah.
immediately. So that is one thing that have valued from it the most has been those relationships. Cause yeah, money's there. The business, we are doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, but
Yeah.
there's not much that can replace friendships and
No, not at
that
all.
business relationship. It's hard to build those outside of a weekly meeting.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's you don't come across a business owner that has time very often.
No,
So when you get to sit in a room full of 25 plus business owners that are giving their time to you and
yeah,
to everybody else in the room, that's
it's valuable.
that's huge. It's worth so much.
Yep. And in that group, the one thing I noticed is it has a lot of, as a dear friend of mine has said, there's three types of people in BNI. There's
Hmm.
movers and shakers, there's the mom and pop shops, and then there's the ones that burn all their bridges and use that as a last resort.
Yeah, yeah,
And the one thing I can see in this group is there's not really those two of movers, or there's only movers and shakers. There's
yeah.
not the mom and pop shops. There's
Right.
not anybody that's really burned their bridge because everybody's so brand new
Yeah.
and developed very well what their expertise is. So that we have a huge group, man.
It's
It's
incredible.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I mean, the amount of business that gets passed through that on a weekly basis, let alone a daily
Yeah.
basis, it's
$1 million
insane.
passed already in what,
Yeah.
9 months, 10 months?
Yeah, well, since charter, I think it was what, 5 or 6 months?
5 or 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
$1 million. So that is
That's a huge achievement.
it's huge.
I got lucky enough to land in the right group
So whenever
first time around.
whenever I first started 5 years ago, like 1.3 million was the fiscal year of
Yeah.
total
Right.
business.
Wow.
And that was during COVID, which was huge.
Yeah.
To be able to pass all of that and not be really meeting person to person, and you're doing everything via Zoom or online
That's crazy.
and still be able to pass that. So that
Yeah.
in itself is an achievement. And that's really
Mhm.
something to kind of, hold yourself to that standard.
Right.
But also at the same time, you had the world against you essentially, and you were still able to knock it out. But now
Yeah.
this group, being that it's all movers and shakers,
Mhm.
in 5 months, yeah, over $1 million. That's
Insanity.
that's great. So I can see that
insane.
this being a $5 million like average group,
Yeah.
5
yeah.
million every year, and that's kind of like our baseline.
Yeah, no
of where we're
reason
at.
why we shouldn't be able to do
No.
that. Yeah.
Not with the people that we have, and we're growing so freaking fast,
Dude. Yeah.
like
I feel like every
two,
week.
yeah, we got a new person, and they're already got an application in.
Right. We're
So
doing the visitor presentation every week because there's somebody there. I mean, it's
swearing
crazy.
somebody in immediately, like, yep, all right, this is the new normal. We're
Yeah.
gonna really quickly outgrow where
Yeah.
we're at
Right.
so fast.
It's like we've been in that place, what, a month, maybe a month and a half
Mhm.
in the new place, and it's already full room. There's not even enough tables
Yeah.
to where you put chairs. I mean, it's crazy.
We're definitely gonna have to find a new venue pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
with the growth that we have, it's gonna be packed, especially on Visitors Day.
Oh, man. Yeah. I won't be there 3 to 5 hours. So I was telling my wife, she's like, you're already in there for almost 2 hours.
I have a
Like,
guy
I
coming from
know.
Hutch that's gonna come down and kind of see how it all goes. But I've
Yeah.
already got 3 interested people that are like targeted specifically to the wedding venue of what we were looking at doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's awesome. Yeah. That's huge. That power group's going to be killer.
because yeah, he was right. That there's nobody that really shares that interest with the wedding side or the venue side and bridals and stuff like that. So to have that as a part of your networking team as well, because
Mhm.
honestly, if you asked me, say 2-3 years ago, where a majority of my business came from, you would assume that it would be realtors, people that are connected directly to me,
Right.
insurance agents as far as home insurance goes, or realtors. Those were a very good influence into the business.
Yeah.
But most of my business a couple of years ago came from healthcare.
Really?
Healthcare.
That's interesting.
So to have healthcare and an individual within healthcare send you more than 60% of your business for the fiscal year is
Wow.
nuts. So takeaway of that is it doesn't matter who you network with. You don't have to have just a close circle of like insurance agents slash, tradesmen that are just directly connected.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to expand out and open up that circle. Cause yeah, a healthcare person ended up giving me more than 60% of all
That's
the
insanity.
revenue, which is, it's just nuts to reflect back and
Yeah. Yeah.
be
Yeah.
like, that's where most of that came from. Like, really?
Right. Yeah, that's
Healthcare?
crazy. I think it's just it goes
Not
back
even
to
tied
it's
industry.
right. It's not so much industry. I think it's the connections that you build. So being forced to have one-on-ones all the time with everybody in the group, you get to build that trust and move it past visibility into credibility.
Yep.
And I think that that just
Builds that
changes
profitability.
everything. Yeah, it builds that profitability. Yeah. So it's huge.
Oh yeah, definitely. So the goals for Christmas lights, because we're in that time of season right now.
We are.
What, as far as what you do, you hang them, but what kind of lights do you offer?
Yeah, yeah. So right now I'm only working with mostly C9 lights, just doing roofing lights. I mean, do C7 lights on the
And those
trees
are on
and
the
wrapping
drip
poles.
edge where they're like on the outside of that roof
hmm
line.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll usually go across roof line and on the peaks and things like that.
Okay.
Sometimes gutters, but mostly like to keep it simple. We like to give a professional look when we're done. So
Now, anybody that's interested in doing, say, the ones that are underneath of the soffit where it's kind of a hidden light and the only thing that you're really seeing is the glow from it, you offer that as well?
right now we don't,
Okay.
but that's a goal in the future. You know, that permanent lighting has become super popular and it always just looks
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. And then you don't have to pay somebody every year to come back out there and mess with it. You can just have it up. You can do 4th of July, Halloween, Christmas. You can do Valentine's Day if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, Veterans Day, whatever you want to do
Yep.
with it, it does everything.
Just mobile app and change it and be
Yeah,
like, yeah, what time of
yeah.
season is it? And just automatically change it. I wonder
Right.
if within that app, it just automatically changes, or you can have it set up to
Yeah.
where it's like scheduled.
Like a schedule, year
Yeah,
out
so you
kind
don't
of
really have
thing.
to
That'd be
think
cool.
about
Yeah.
it. Just
I wonder. Yeah,
change
you
it.
know, I've never played with some of it, so but it's something I want to get into within the next year for
Okay.
sure.
So at this point, how can people get in contact with you? What's the easiest way? I will put links in the description to everyone that is going to be a part of Trades Talk. I will end up including their contact information so that you, as the listener, viewer, however you're viewing this, can be able to get in touch with Isaiah and the guests that we do have on.
Yeah, yeah. So easiest way to reach me is my phone number. So it'd be 316-300-1803, or you can reach me on my website, keepersmobiledetailing.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
This area that you're servicing, that's probably some of the questions that might be. I mean, we're located in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah.
Are you like 2-hour radius maybe for detailing? Because I know it takes
Yeah.
you a little bit of time, so you'd have to drive there, drive back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
So right now I'm about from central Wichita about an hour, hour and a half in any direction.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll go 2 hours if need be. If it's a good job, I'll do
Okay. They're not coming out there to vacuum your car out for you though.
it. Yeah. No $30 washes all the way out in Hayes. Like I can't do that. But yeah, I love to take care of people all over.
That'd be
so.
crazy. Just be like, hey, man, I got like the spill in the truck and
Right.
I just need you to come clean it out. Be like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've had people in Hutch like, hey, can you just come just a wash?
Yeah. It's
Like,
like, let me look up where you located. I'll find you the closest
right. Yeah.
club
Here's a
wash.
club car wash right here, 5 minutes down the street. I'm
Those
sorry.
things are everywhere. What was it last year or the year before? They were popping up like everywhere.
Dude, yeah,
It's
just
like
this
a
last year,
new-
it's been crazy.
Yeah, every time I'd see, the bulldozers and the ground clearing and everything out there, I'd be like, I wonder if it's a car wash.
Yeah,
You
yeah. At this
know?
point, it probably is.
Here's another one. Like,
Maze
isn't
has
there
like
one-
3 right
Yeah.
next to each other, so it's like, wow.
I guess they just got some kind of hair up their ass and was like, every corner of this city needs a
Needs a
needs a
car
car
wash.
wash.
Let's give us more reasons to put a drought in Cheney Lake.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he's stealing all the water. Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
really thought about that. And miraculously, we don't have any water in Cheney Lake. Well, if we didn't have as many car washes as we did,
Maybe you'd be all right.
and next they're gonna be like, we need to tap into El Dorado Lake.
Yeah, you start tapping them just for the car washes. Got their own lines.
Oh man. So, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Podcast Solutions. This table is amazing. Able to put the microphone stands, have the ports and everything go back here for your audio control. But he is located here in Wichita, Kansas. It is podcastsolutions.com.
Yeah. Super, super awesome table.
They're like wedge tables. And I believe it was these, or it was ones very similar that was on MLB. On ESPN, or I think their podcast on MLB.com.
Yeah, yeah.
But they had, I think it was this being the front. So they had quite a few of them, and they put World Series on the front portion right here, and then they capped them off so that you didn't see, but they were a lot taller, so you're sitting at them.
Yeah,
and they had the World Series MLB right here, and I was
wow,
like, dude, that's awesome, especially because people in Wichita and the ICT, we're innovative. There's huge businesses, global businesses that's come out of Wichita, Kansas.
There is
Pizza Hut,
right?
Did you know White Castle?
Yeah.
White Castle is originated in Wichita, Kansas.
Is it really? I didn't know that. That's
and
crazy.
we don't even have a White Castle.
We don't even have one.
So
they left. They got up and left.
Never mind. Spangles, of course, that's not global, but
still huge though.
I mean, it's still pretty big, especially in our area.
Say BG Products is huge.
Yeah,
out
BG
here
Products.
They're
Coke
global.
Industries.
Yeah, Coke Industries.
Who else? There's probably some other ones I'm definitely not thinking of, but Pizza Hut being
probably the biggest,
the global entity that it is. That one originated out of Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah,
and
at WSU actually, of all places. Yeah, students.
And I think wasn't White Castle a part of that?
They might have been.
And I heard it was a rumor. I mean, I'm not even going to look it up, but I heard that Starbucks, the originator of Starbucks, was from Wichita, Kansas.
Really?
One of the actual creators of the product line, as far as the branding and all of that, was from here. It was either here or Seattle, but I believe it was here. And we are tied a lot with Seattle due to Boeing.
Yeah, so, Boeing is
a lot of stuff that they do up there, and people can probably get it confused. More than likely, but we are not tied with Seattle in certain things. in
a lot of ways,
we're not tied with it. So let me clarify that.
Yeah.
So well, we're going to be doing these. I'm going to try to just pump out a bunch of these.
These are fun.
You're definitely welcome. Come back on anytime that you want to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll see the live reaction. Well, not really live, but the reactions and stuff like that in the comments. See what people have to say, and we'll go from there. So anybody that does have questions, comments, anything, we are going to be putting all of that online. We will have Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. The TikTok is going to be primarily just little clips and stuff like that. There won't be any full episodes. The full episodes are going to go on to Facebook and YouTube, primarily YouTube, but it'll be linked over to our Facebook account, and we'll have Facebook Reels as well. Steven wants to get on and do like some of the shirts and stuff like that, and show the branding for that. But yeah.
What about Spotify? You think about getting on there?
Yeah. So as far as the audio only version, because I mean, a lot of people are going to be like, I'll watch it later on, but just being able to listen to it in the truck and stuff like that. So get onto Spotify. I got to figure out how to do all that. That's something. I mean, all of this is definitely new to me. I'm trying to figure it all out, but So I think, of course, gotta be like Joe. Ain't no way I'm gonna be able to compete with that dude.
Right.
It's the number one in the world. But Spotify, what is the other one? There's another. Well, there's Apple Podcasts. That's what I'm
Yeah,
on all the time.
Apple. Yeah.
Because I love one of my favorite podcasters is Sean Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
The people, just the plethora of people that he brings on.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had everything from like a CIA operative to a priest that does exorcisms.
It's just crazy.
And he interviewed JD Vance and Donald
Yeah.
Trump, Megyn Kelly.
Right.
So the people that it's a huge spectrum of people. And he kind of, in my opinion, kind of formulates it more in that interview way,
Mm-hmm.
like a direct interview rather than just having, you know, a conversation and just watching where it goes.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like Joe just basically has a conversation and it's just like,
Which is huge.
wherever it goes, we're going to get high and we're going to talk about everything.
Right. Well, it's like that with Theo Vaughn as well. I love Theo Vaughn, dude. It's
like,
hilarious.
Sean is kind of like,
yeah, to the point.
We have these questions and I want to know.
Right.
And so I like his formula. I like the way he kind of sets it up. Because he has those direct questions and he lets the person talk and just do their thing. And they have such interesting stories. One of my favorites was Ryan Montgomery. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
He #1 ethical hacker in the world.
Yeah.
He talked about like all the stuff that he was doing to help. I don't know if I want to say it. The bad stuff that's going on in the world.
Right.
But he was helping all of that out. And fuck it. I want to make this like, it's trades talk. There's people on here that are like, why are they not cussing? Like, we cuss in the trades.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's fucking trades.
That's the trades. Like,
cussing, man.
I'm not gonna be like, okay, so we're gonna be super professional, you know, because consumers might be watching. Fuck that.
Right.
We're gonna talk the way that we normally talk. This is gonna be a podcast. It's not it's safe for work in, you know, especially what we do. But
yeah, right.
You know, if you're gonna have your 5-year-old listen, I probably wouldn't. So
yeah, which they're probably not interested in.
They're not interested in what we're talking about at all.
Yeah, just work stuff.
But yeah, he had on there Ryan Montgomery, and apparently like he stops sex traffickers, people that have, you know, solicited images and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he tears these networks apart.
That's awesome.
And he started handing a lot of this stuff over to the FBI and the CIA and just being like, here you go. Like, I found this. I'm doing your job for you.
Right. Already done.
Yeah. Figure this out. Like, help, you know, get this guy caught or whoever it may be.
Right.
But he also talked about, you know, the vulnerability that we have day to day in our technology as well.
It's crazy. It's scary.
The AI, how that's affecting so much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's another question. So I did want to talk about this. For me, in roofing, AI can help in certain aspects, but I believe that I'm protected because AI is not going to be able to put a roof on.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, you can't drone a roof on. You can drone and see it, but technology, we're safe in the trades. I believe that's going to be the biggest thing about a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
The tradespeople are about to be the real millionaires. The ones that are doing something that technology cannot do.
Skill. Yeah, like a full skilled labor. Yeah.
So have you, since you've been in business with keepers for Christmas lights, have you used any AI technology to your benefit to help you with marketing or anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's AI marketing tools. There's so many of them, and I haven't messed with it yet. AI is one of those things where I'll wait to mess with it until I get a little bit more confident it can do what I want it to.
Right.
But yeah, no, right now I just
definitely keep the human aspect of
Well, it's more creative. AI can't, predict creativity. No. So it's all up here. We're born with that.
Yeah. And the marketing team of BNI and what we do, that's where
Yeah, there's just no way. So one day.
I see within my roofing network, and the people that I follow and who I am influenced by, I watch some of their posts
Hmm.
through like especially the Texas area
Yeah.
and Ohio, and you can just immediately once you use AI, you can start spotting what they're using
Right.
and how they're delivering that message. It's it's crazy. Like, you didn't write that.
Yeah.
I
No
know
way.
you didn't write
Right.
that. Those words are not from you.
Right. Yeah. You can tell that. Yeah. There's a little bit of Chat GPT in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, but I mean, it does work. It helps you, helps formulate
Yeah.
what it is that you do want to say in a more, um, I don't know, grammar type manner.
Yeah.
Because the way that we talk now, a lot of it's short, predictive, um, kind of just throw stuff out there and just talk the way that we normally do. And
Yeah.
nobody's really up to like grammar and comma this, period that, exclamation point. Fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, like I do roofing, I do, detailing. Like I'm not here to be an English major and
Yeah.
make it look
Yeah.
super proper,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I
No, I'm
want to
just
get
here
my
to
point
clean your car,
across.
man.
Yeah.
I'm not writing a book, I promise. Yeah.
Yeah. I came to clean, not to read.
Yeah, right. It's the only words I know.
Oh, Simpsons, bro. So Trump fan?
Yeah, yeah,
Just drop it on you like that.
yeah. Hey, I'm here for it. Yeah, I am. I'll put it out there.
All
Yeah,
right, good deal, good deal. Most of us in the trades are, I think.
I think so. Yeah, we're all tired of being broke, man. I think that's the decider.
More or less tired of paying so much for material,
Right.
dude.
Yeah,
Like
you
the
can't. You just can't
OSB,
do anything.
$15, 2019.
Right.
Average stayed around
Yeah, not
$15
bad.
a sheet.
Yeah.
The highest I ever saw was $72 a sheet. End of 2021.
See, that's the problem.
That's just
How are you
ridiculous.
supposed to profit off that? I mean, that's your profit.
He profiting off the backs of people that shouldn't be paying that kind of money
Hmm.
when there is not a shortage. That shit was sitting in warehouses and they were just hoarding it.
Yeah,
Like,
just like
oh,
everything
it
else.
might run out. No, fuck it will. Like,
Yeah.
stop gouging everybody. It's stupid.
Yeah, just like
Shingles,
everything. Yeah.
when Shield Roofing first started, it was for a bundle 69. It was in the 60s, mid 70s, well,
Right.
low 70s. And normally in our industry, there's price changes. You'll get emails out from like distributors and stuff like that saying, hey, here's the new pricing index. This is
Right.
what we're going off of. So adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
It's where you get your product margins and stuff. Since 2019 till now, there's been 33 price changes. But before that, the prior 10 years, it was normally like one every 6 months. Maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Something
A couple
like
times
that.
a year, maybe.
Just kind of keeping up with normal inflation, normal
Right.
fluctuation.
Right.
But 33 in 5 years is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's screwing everybody. How are you supposed to run a business when price everything is going up? You're just screwing. You have to like screw your clients because you're getting screwed. I mean, there's just what are you supposed to do? Mhm.
Well, so we kept the labor pretty much the same. There's a few adjustments to it, but
Yeah.
we tried to just, I mean, we maintained, we did what we could, but
Yeah.
luckily, I mean, the one that it affects, it just trickles down because you're dealing with the insurance primarily,
Hmm.
and so they're the ones paying it.
Yeah.
Those price changes, and they keep up with it and everything, but that just turns around and affects the homeowner
Yeah.
anyways.
Which is horrible.
And I've seen 100% premium increase, 100%. So prior year, 23, he was paying, I think it was 2,300,
Hmm.
and his new, as soon as the renewal was to hit, if he didn't do the roof, was 5,100. This is like 110% increase,
That's just crazy.
like that.
That's so
And
crazy.
how do you go that high? I
There
mean,
shouldn't be reason to.
not a reason at all. Like,
No.
oh well, we need to collect from somebody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't get it. Well, we're probably going to end this because I got an inspection to go to. And
Yeah.
I know you got
Yeah.
some stuff to
Got
do.
some details. Yeah.
Yep. So thank you everybody for listening. If you made it this far, tune in to Trey's Talk Podcast Studio. We will be posting weekly on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Give us a like, a follow, all that good stuff. Don't want to be super cliche like everybody. Subscribe,
Subscribe and
click
like.
like.
Yeah.
You
Hit
know,
the notification
if you want to
icon.
listen. If you don't, all right, well, go listen to something else.
Yeah, so be it. Turn on some Joe Rogan or something.
Go see some influence. So
right.
awesome. All right, man. Well,
Cool. Thanks for having me,
for
man.
having
I
on.
appreciate it.